Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here for myself. So I said, this market gets very calm during these summer months. Typically after is when the big moves are made. Be patient and focus on the bigger picture. This market has been ranging and just going sideways. It's been exciting for those holding XRP, XDC, XLM, and various other tokens, but it's only the beginning. Now is not the time to get impatient or get distracted. Don't fumble your bags, especially now. And I do want to ask, for all those watching out there, are you being patient? Have you even budged a little bit at all? Or are you holding strong? If you are, hit that like button and also comment down below what you guys think is going to happen next around this market, because in my opinion, we are at the calm before the storm. We have seen this many times over. And listen, the events that we've recently seen are very exciting. First off, September, we know in September we get the next global regulatory framework from the FSB with the G20. It got instructed by the G20. Also, right, we have a ton of Bitcoin ETFs. A lot of people have been talking about the Bitcoin ETFs. There's over $30 trillion from these major institutions. Like, that's how much they have in assets under management. And they are queuing up for a Bitcoin spot ETF. And, you know, if we do get those approved, it could add a ton of value into this market. Obviously, it's not going to be $30 trillion, but it could add a significant amount of money and liquidity to this market. And it's going to be very exciting. But also, we have the XRP rolling, right? Like, that rolling should 100% be mentioned because it's a massive one. Even with, you know, the SEC trying to appeal, it does not matter. XRP is not a security. And until 2025, that's the law of the land. But also, I am focused on everything else, right? Like standardization, regulations, everything is lining up perfectly. Right now, you need to be focused up. Now, also, the Bitcoin ETFs, the interesting thing about them is that, you know, crypto ETFs and blockchain ETFs, they have been killing it. They've been dominating the 2023 leaderboard. Here you guys have it. Blockchain and crypto ETPs dominate 2023 leaderboard. Look at this. So you could see why the Bitcoin ETF is a big deal. But also, I just think that crypto itself, like, I don't really care to, you know, just talk about Bitcoin. No, like, it's crypto itself is a big mover right now. And there's a lot of spotlight attention on crypto. And yes, the market has been ranging sideways. I mean, listen, let's just look at this real quick. Let's zoom out. And this is the altcoin market cap over here on the left. And then we have XRP on the right. And I do have the XRP chart open over here as well. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But look at what we're doing here. We're just going sideways. We have this nice little sideways momentum. When this pops, it's going to be huge. And I've been talking about this for a little bit of time. Like, the big moments is breaking over this like $400 billion level and targeting that $480 billion level before we, you know, ultimately break out, flip a few things into support, and continue higher to $1 trillion plus for the altcoin market. Now, it's going to take some time, but big moves are brewing. And on XRP, like, I know that this move has been exciting to, you know, almost 90, it's like almost 92 cents. It's like 92 and a half cents or so. We haven't broken over it. It's a significant, you know, resistance zone, but this chart has been looking very, very good. And it has been even since, you know, we bottomed out back in June of 2022. It's been over 5.5 years since XRP has hit a new all-time high. There is nothing stopping us. There's nothing suppressing the price. We might reach down to this level, this 53 cent to 58.5 cent zone. 62 cents has been holding so far, which is major support. But if we do get this zone tapped one more time, it's going to be a big area to start accumulating XRP yet again. And I've seen a lot of people calling for sub 40 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. Listen, is that out of the picture? Not necessarily, unless something massive, like really bearish happens in the market. It's still possible. But in my opinion, I think that this is probably the best bet area at like around 53 to 58 cents. But ultimately speaking, like, It's been 5.5 years since XRP hit a new all-time high. With all of the recent events, I've been looking at these utility tokens as being very, very bullish. Now, also, Riz XRP posted this video over on Twitter. And what do you see? Put two and two together. The writing is on the wall. We continue to watch these clowns try to undermine the people. Don't be shaken out. It's all smoke and mirrors. Check this out.
Well, remember, Wall Street is in business to make money, and this is something they can probably make money of. You have to remember, the United States government has been somewhat skeptical of it. I think Democrats in the Congress, and particularly the people regulating the SEC, are skeptical of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But outside the United States, there's a lot of interest in it. I think FTX really hurt when it went bankrupt, and it hurt the crypto industry. But a lot of people around the world want to be able to trade in a currency that their government can't know what they have, and they want to be able to move it around, rightly or wrongly. And so I don't think Bitcoin is going away. I think the Republicans on Capitol Hill have been pretty supportive of it. There's
a difference between having a seamless cross-currency payment, basically saying that instead of going to Western Union, I can go and just transfer something in Bitcoin if it has a stable enough price. That's one proposition. But the proposition of Bitcoin as a store of value that could kind of be bid up the way that gold or silver could seems to have been parked with the advent of yield suddenly that you can get for actual money. I mean, isn't that sort of the feeling that you're getting?
Well, there's no doubt that when interest rates are as high as they are, you don't need to have gold or other kinds of things to get you some solid return, because when you get 5% on treasuries, but eventually 5% will be coming down at some point. I don't think Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies that are the better ones, the better known ones, Bitcoin and so a number of others, are going to go away. There's enormous interest around the world in being able to have something you can transfer without the government knowing about it and keep it private. And, you can say people shouldn't do that, but that's not going to stop people from doing it.
Mr. Novogratz on Mr. Gensler. What did he say about the efforts of our chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Well, Gary Gensler, who's the chairman of the SEC, is not a big fan of cryptocurrency. I think that's fair to say. But he lost a major case recently in court where he was trying to argue that one of the cryptocurrencies, Ripple, was a security, and he lost that case. So I think the SEC has not been able to convince at least the government yet, or at least the courts, that cryptocurrency is such a dangerous thing. And I remember a lot of people in the government now are thinking that Gary Gensler won't be the chairman of the SEC forever.
That's where he wanted to go. I mean, these guys just wait him out, right?
I think that's a strategy. It's very popular in Washington.
So yeah, I mean, to me personally, listen, we know that crypto is the future. I don't need to be told to spew about Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. We know what the best transfer of value is. We know what the best decentralized bridge currency is that nobody can control. We know what it is, right? But as we look at this market, there's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of shakeouts. There's going to be this, that, whatever. You need to make sure that you are focused on the big picture. But at the end of the day, your full focus should be on utility. Utility and forward thinking around this market and where we are headed. We are still so damn early right now in this market as things are going sideways. And, XRP, technically speaking, if you zoom all the way out, this thing has been going sideways ever since it hit its all-time high. So to me personally, this thing has been brewing for a big move. The entire market since November of 2021 has been brewing for a big move. And that is what we are all here waiting for, being patient. But also, as everyone is so skeptical about XRP and there's so many haters around XRP as well, I think that they will soon turn into fans. Here you guys have Tyler Winklevoss. The XRP army has really dumb trolls. By taking the SEC enforcement, you are taking the position that Ripple is a security. Shake my head. So this was back in May of 2020. Today, we do know that Gemini has announced that XRP is now available for trading on Gemini. And what's funny about this is that they made this video where it's all about XRP defeating, the SEC. And here you have Gary Gensler. They're making fun of the SEC and Gary Gensler during this entire video. But back in 2020, they were scrutinizing the XRP army and even, Ripple about this SEC enforcement. So I thought that this was pretty interesting. But also, listen, almost everyone wants to list XRP right now. Everyone. And the comical thing is that we got this listing on Gemini, and it seems as though a glitch happened. They had to shut it down. Here you guys have XRP, $1.51. Over here, systems are currently experiencing degraded performance. So it seems as though this created a big demand. And also there was a glitch on the platform right now. As I do look at Gemini, it did go up to about like $1.51. Now it's down at like $1.10. It's pretty interesting. I don't think that this has anything to do with the price. Like I said, glitches like this happen all the time. Maybe I'm wrong, but listen, if there's market makers out there that are trying to buy XRP at $1.10 or $1.50, when you can go over to any other major exchange and buy this thing for like 63 cents, that's pretty much on them. But also, like I said, like everyone wants to list XRP. So far, it has been listed on almost every single exchange that delisted it. I do think that a perfect storm is brewing here. And I think that the perfect storm has been brewing for well over 5.5 years, ever since we made that all-time high. I think ever since 2017, 2018, there's been a lot more substance here behind XRP. And I mention this all the time, right? Like you have Ripple, a company that's been around for well over a decade, building out strong connections, networking with central bankers, networking with financial institutions around their solution that XRP is an integral part of. To me personally, like, there's going to be a significant demand for XRP as a token. There's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a significant demand for XRP as a token. And, you know, when that day does happen, when utilization is really ramping up, it's game over. I know a lot of people question my theory on this, but in my opinion, I do believe that at some point in time, the retail sector will be priced out of XRP. I think that it will eventually be too late. And even today, more than ever before, like look at XRP at 63.5 cents, right? If you go back in time, let's go back over to the chart real quick. So if you go back in time, you had an opportunity to accumulate this thing down at about like 36.5 cents. You also had time to buy during the SEC lawsuit at around like anywhere between 17 to like 25 cents or so. Back in March of 2020, this thing came down all the way to about roughly like 11 cents. You had time to accumulate this thing around like 50 cents or 15 cents, sorry. And even further back in time, right? Like you had a huge opportunity here, but most people that are new to XRP, right? Like they want to accumulate something that's much cheaper, because for the average person, like getting a large amount of XRP, it's hard to come by today. And this, like something like this is only going to continue to happen. Like a lot of people look at XRP and they're like, this thing sucks, right? Like the price action sucks. There's no new all-time high in 5.5 years, but that's just like the typical person. If you've been around the space, if you have done enough research, then you know XRP is one of the most bullish assets in this market. Even on the macro, right? Like when you look at the all-time chart on this thing, first off, let's look at this for a second. You have the March of 2020 low. You have the SEC lawsuit. All right. You have the low from the summer of 2022. Now you have this low here, and technically you could even circle this one. What's happening here on the macro? Well, we have a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, followed by yet again another higher low. And where's this other low at, right? Is it going to be 62 cents or is it going to be this high of 53 to 58 cents? Either way, we still have a higher low. Now all we really want to look at is higher highs. And the second that we do break this, structure where we don't have a higher high, like for an example, here's the all-time high, here's the high from 2021. Is the high from this next run going to be a lower high or is it going to be a higher high? In my opinion, an all-time high is brewing. And when XRP goes into price discovery, there's no telling on how high this could go, right? Like we've talked about, $5 to $10, from 10 to 15. Everyone always mentioned 20 to 30 back in 2021 and 2020. We don't know, right? We have no idea. All we know today is that there's a lot more substance here. There's a lot more demand for XRP. It's getting listed on every single major exchange yet again. And with that, there's a lot more substance as well behind utility. Ripple continues to expand on-demand liquidity corridors. That creates demand for the token. It creates a floor for XRP. Then you combine retail use and retail use cases on the XRP ledger. Then you have an incredible recipe for higher valuation. So when we really kind of look at this market right now, you know, I do think that this is the calm before the storm. And I do think that it's going to be a very, very big bull run. And I've talked about this, like the wave 5 that we've been missing. If you've been following, you know, the Elliott wave theory, then this next major wave could be huge for this entire market, where we could outreach to anywhere between, you know, $5 to $10 trillion for the global crypto market cap. And assets like XRP, well, there's no telling on how high they could go. But we already have our goals set. We've been talking about it for a while. You know, we have to take profits on the way up, de-risk our investment, and then hodl the rest. Hodl the rest until our major goals are targeted. And I do think that those major goals will be reached when utility is set in stone. And guess what? Regulations are lining up, standardizations, you know, lining up. The last major step is implementation and utilization. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Others, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this board. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.